which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you, and stay woke, bitches.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? As you can see from this video, we're going to be talking about a very important topic today in identity. My name is Kevin Sultani from Jima Group, Los Angeles, and my partner here is Sohail Nikzad. And we have a very important topic today because do you really know where your identity is being used? We do live in a dangerous time. We do live in the most dangerous time as far as your identity goes. You don't really know what you don't know. This was just one example from, yes, a Hollywood actor and one of the most famous people in the world, but you saw how clean someone's body, lips, emotions, eye contact, everything can be taken over without us really even knowing. Now, to think about it, have you ever been deep-faked? This is something called a deep-fake video.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
It's an honor, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
As you can see, in two different videos from two different times, and yes, this one was a Hollywood replica or a Hollywood film production, which was a replica of Mr. President Kennedy. Both videos show the danger of what could happen with just simple technology. Simple, because the first one was done in just 2 hours. Again, Jordan Peele is a famous Hollywood actor with years and, tons of experience. But this was done over 25 years ago. And yes, it was Hollywood. However, we can learn to take people's emotions, lips, eyes over, whether it is a movie or in a deepfake presidential type of video. Our topic today is, again, about identity. We're here to educate. If you learn anything about your identity or your crypto identity, your business identity, to protect it, to learn what you can do to protect yourself and the possibilities of how big this industry of blockchain really is. Sohail and I were talking about the most famous identity in our whole industry. Who is this?
Who is this, or he, or she, or they? We don't know. They started since 2008 and named Satoshi Nakamoto. You know about that. All the stuff starts with Bitcoin white paper. They start to work on it for 4 years, and he or she or they did it just by text and nothing more, not video, no voice, not picture, nothing else. After that, he disappeared, or she disappeared, or they disappeared for a long time, and investigation starts to find him, he, she, or they. Now, finally they find him. Dorian Nakamoto, a guy who was working in cryptography, who was working with SHA 256 function, who was working for too many industries, which were related to cryptography and who was living in America in Silicon Valley. It was very, very, very good suspect for people who can be Satoshi Nakamoto. But after 2 years, the user of Satoshi Nakamoto in Bitcoin Talk forum appears again and shows this. Okay. He says, she says, or they said, I'm not Dorian Nakamoto, the guy you see in the previous picture. We believe it or not, Kevin.
Is it a perfect storm? Is it really him, her, it, they, the FBI, the CIA? Who is this
We
person?
don't know.
But
Aliens?
after 2 years of non-talk, and after 6 years of the white paper, why did we get this?
People mostly believe him or she, or believe her, him or they also. People mostly believe that this post was for Dorian Nakamoto to help him not to stuck. But unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know. After 4 years, he appears again for this next slide. Noor, it's less than 2 months or 2-3 months.
3 months ago.
Yeah, it's 3 months ago. Oh, Kevin, now you tell me, do you believe this is Satoshi?
For the same reason why we believe those two pictures might have been, we can only decipher what we can take as face value. And if this is what we get from the user who was Satoshi in all these forums for all those years, and what does this Noor mean?
You know, guys, what we are speaking about that is how to trust somebody. You know, these are two same messages from Satoshi Nakamoto. We trust in first one, but not in the second one. I have a question, another question, Kevin, from you. What would you do? What would Jesus do? What would Satoshi do if you want to prove that you are Satoshi Nakamoto today?
Look, let's be honest. The way to do it is either to come to CNN and do a live interview
Okay,
and then go to hiding because, you know, for obvious reasons. Or, very simply, he could have sent a single Satoshi
Yeah, of course.
from his address
To anyone.
out. Very simple. Why? When, where, why, how? It's as simple as that, but we could not verify that. So for that reason alone, the identity remains unknown.
You know what? The most important thing here, we are speaking about the way to prove somebody's identity. Before this, for Satoshi Nakamoto, it was not very easy to go and register him, her, or theirself into the central system of Bitcoin Talk or any other servers, register there, create user, and make post. But after creating Bitcoin, you don't need these stuff to prove your identity. You can just send a message without any other third party. You can prove your identity to be a Satoshi Nakamoto, without needing any third party.
So obviously we have not just Satoshi, but we had a group of cypherpunks.
Yeah, there are too many guys after
these
that.
cypherpunks, some of them have come out, some of them are in hiding, some of them are no longer with us. And for the simple fact that we know who those are, and we don't really know who this person is an identity crisis. So just like that first video, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever had your identity stolen? Have you ever had your credit cards hacked? Have you ever had your replicated ID land in someone else's hand? Because it happens every day in America. Every day, not every day, every month or two, we get a call from Capital One that says, hey, are you in England right now? You're buying $9,000 in IMAX. I said, I'm sleeping. And they said, okay, good. That's it. We hang up the phone, I get my $9,000 back. That's in America in a very sophisticated system in one of the largest banks. But how are we supposed to feel good when our leader, our person, has no identity?
We don't know.
So we obviously have this empty hole, and we just don't know what to do. However, how powerful is this? How powerful is this?
Let's go further. Okay.
1.2 billion people are without a proof of identity. This is from one of the most trusted sources who wish they could know everything about us. Why wouldn't this nice organization here want to know everything about us?
Not just them, but there are too many other guys arriving. Let's go to the next slide. There are more people coming into the internet. Are the existing infrastructures ready to double their capacity for these newcomers? Are you believe it?
Very important to note that we have now surpassed, and I agree with Cisco, we are now in a new era. You could call it the digital era, you could call it the crypto, you could call it whatever. I like this better.
Yeah.
Because of the hexa before it. So for the mathematicians in the room, you'll understand. We've all seen this, and in my opinion, the four most powerful words on the face of this planet, at least for me because I use the dollar where I live. And the reason being is that those four words are so powerful that it gave this thing a piece of value from an old time where we actually used to use commodities, and now we just use this, and if we didn't have these four words, we'd probably all kill each other over an apple. Yeah. The problem is that this is four words that are installed with fear, installed with no backing. It has nothing to do with religion, it has nothing to do with tech or anything above. But for the simple fact that these four words were printed on a piece of paper that gave it nominal value to go out there and buy your goods and services and to make your businesses run as well as they do, and now we're in this crypto game, or this blockchain space. Sahel and I have been in this space since 2011. We remember days of before hacks, before coins, before STOs and all this stuff, and we were handcuffed by this stuff.
What do you think about that previous picture?
I think it's scary. I think, if you're 100 years old, not that many of us are, or if we have family members are, your money has devalued 1%
I think it's good
every
to come
year.
Back to previous slide. From my point of view, this is the most biggest frequent lie in human history ever. You know why? There's a simple discussion here. People, ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to me. If I believe in God, or if I don't believe in God, that's my personal stuff. It's not your business. But let me ask you a question. Isn't that funny if you believe in God and not to trust Him? Isn't that funny if you don't believe in God and to trust Him? Okay. There's a bug here. There's somebody needs trust. You don't trust to the God which you don't believe. And of course, you will trust the God which you believe. The question is not about trust. The question is about belief for God. But here is the speak about money. And in money, there is somebody, not God, somebody else who needs trust. And here is the lie. As a Bitcoiner, if I believe in God or not, that's my personal stuff. But as a Bitcoiner, again, I prefer to say in numbers we trust. Yeah? This is the technology of blockchain, which helps you to keep your identity, to keep your money, to keep your ability, to keep your authority on your wealth just by numbers, not by any other counterparty, not by any other third party, and not by any other else. This is the power of numbers, and me and Kevin, we are going to explain for you a little bit math. I hope so. It was good for it will be good for you. And,
I agree. In math we trust, or in binary we trust. Every single one of us in this room is a function of a 0 and 1. Whether you believe that or not, that's okay. But everything in this beautiful earth we have is a binary function, and this formula right here is exactly the formula that shows the amount of all the electrons in the entire world. That's the last number, 65 to the times 10 to the 49th. It's supposed to be 6.5 times 10 to 50, but that's the non-scientific one. This number represents every electron in the entire in this entire beautiful earth of ours. Now, it's not a sexy slide, but this slide shows a much larger number. If you just look at the power, a much larger number. And this is the amount of all the Bitcoin wallets in the world. And what do you need to do in order to hack my Bitcoin wallet?
You need, if I want to hack your Bitcoin wallet, I have to create a list of all possible private keys and public keys, okay? If I want to print this list, 1 electron per each bit. 1 electron per each bit. Okay? Whole world, Kevin, not just Earth, whole world will be finished before completing this list. This is the power of your number. This is the power of your 256-digit number. And this is the power of technology of blockchain, which can help you to be hidden from the hackers.
Now, as we know, there has never and can never, at least today, be a 51% attack. And my friend here just explained what you have to do. There was a funny story of a guy with LifeLock in America. He put his social security number on the side of a van to prove that his technology of LifeLock, if I'm not mistaken, you can't hack his social security number. Well, 3 days later, someone hacked his life through his social security number. So that was about 8 years ago, and that's obsolete. If a simple blockchain was available to him at that time, which now they're using, this would be potentially unhackable. For the simple fact of this beautiful equation right here, this is your identity. This is your crypto identity for the purposes of this forum summit. With this number, you become virtually invincible for now, unless you write it on a piece of paper and leave it at the bar tonight. Okay? For the simple fact that we are living in a world of math, of binary, this becomes our everything.
I think so.
We want to leave you with a funny, but
you are
very
Jason
true.
Lapp? You know Jason Lapp?
Of course.
Yeah, he's collected a good source of Bitcoin.
Whether they're, you know, if you know anything about this man or not, he's controversial to some, non-controversial, academic to others. Really quickly, who should I trust?
Nobody, bro.
Nobody.
Bro. When should I sell?
When should I sell? You know, never. Have you ever sold a Bitcoin?
No, not yet.
I've never sold a Bitcoin.
Not yet. Not
I
yet.
actually have never bought in a Bitcoin either. I've been a miner since 2011. Is Bitcoin dying because?
No, of course. No.
Why? Why is it not going to die?
That's my belief. You know, that's the mass power.
That's the mass power.
Yeah. Nobody will betray
Throw away
mass.
adoption, throw away market share, throw away this new digital dying era of the banks who can't hold on to their power anymore.
Kevin, what have I gotten myself into?
Nobody knows, man. Nobody knows. But if we continue to do this for 10 years, don't give a prediction, but if we continue to do this for 10 years, are we ever going to get hacked? Is our identity ever going to be stolen if we use proper blockchain mechanisms like IBM is introducing, like Microsoft has already introduced?
Yeah, one of my friends calculated this time, the time need to hack yourself in Bitcoin, with the existing whole computing power, whole existing computing power on the Earth. It takes more than billion of years. More than billion of years.
Is it possible that maybe in 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 1 year, that something could come and do this? 51% attack?
Oh, if you can finish whole world's mass to calculating my Bitcoin wallet, okay, it's possible for you. But if you can finish whole world's mass.
So, ladies and gentlemen, your identity, your key, your face is everything. Protect yourself. Take the proper necessary precautions, at least for your beautiful private keys, public keys for that matter. Do one thing right. Don't leave them on exchanges. Don't just leave tons of money that you're not, do you leave all your money in the bank? Oh, wait, you do.
Yeah, they do.
And how many times has banks been hacked or taken down? It happens every day.
Exchanges also, any other central platforms, they have such these problems.
This is why you shouldn't leave it on an exchange.
The central platform, which Satoshi Nakamoto was in it. No, now we know that's not Satoshi. That's just Satoshi's user.
Let's do one final thing. Who in here believes that second or third picture we showed is that Satoshi? Not the Asian guy or whatever. Is Satoshi someone we've seen before? Raise your hand if you think, yes, we have seen the picture of Satoshi before. Wow.
Have you ever saw Satoshi before?
Wow. He believes that he has seen Satoshi's picture somewhere, somehow. That's one person out of, a few hundred, 100.
That's the issues of belief. I prefer to trust. Mostly
Now,
on numbers.
if we were to raise our hands on stage, because of how psychology works, and if we did a better job maybe selling Dorian,
Then we should go ask him, she, her, or they to show its identity with another signature.
thank you for your time. Protect yourself, take the proper precautions, educate yourself on how to protect yourself. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
And be friend with Bلاکچین. Thanks. Let's go. No, this is your way. It's not mine.